This is the state of Wisconsin versus Derrick McCann. My name is Derrick McCann. Many know me as Lil Rel. But did you know my true story? Derrick McCann. One day, I was just a father, loving two biracial children. One 10-month-old, my daughter. Another a 2-year-old son. One day, I'm with my children.
On the surface, it's nothing more than your average construction site. But for unemployed Derrick McCann, every weld laid and beam secured represents hope, a chance to build his own new life.
It's gonna help everybody.
If all goes well, this maze of steel on South Park Street will soon be home to a center for economic development and workforce training. By helping people like McCann, they hope to pump more than $50 million in economic activity back into this community.
Well, I feel we should all take advantage of it because it's free. It's something you're not paying for. All you got to do is just show up, and they train you in good skills that an average person would spend a lot of money on getting these different skills.
But to make this dream a reality, the Urban League needs to raise another $400,000 by October 1st.
We're under some timeline pressure here right now.
The parking lot may be a bit of a mess right now, but with partners right here like MATC and the University of Wisconsin and the City Library, people who will use this center say it just may be the perfect location.
It will dramatically increase the kinds of things that we're able to do.
Programs will help people buy homes, get ready for college, and train for new, better jobs.
How to do job interviews, how to fill out applications, references, different things like that.
Skills even more important when so many are finding themselves down on their luck.
Just trying to stay positive, keep a good mind frame.
In Madison, Chris Woodard, NBC 15 News.
You know, who gonna hear my adversity and justice? Who actually cares in Wisconsin? I think back, just a teen so young, I was attacked. You know, I think about this woman attacked me, and as a man, we don't supposed to show pain. We don't supposed to show that we were scared, but I was scared for my life. Derrick McCann, and I deserve a pardon in Wisconsin. When I was 18, I think back, just a teen so young, I was attacked. You know, I think about this woman attacked me, and as a man, we don't supposed to show pain. We don't supposed to show that we were scared, but I was scared for my life. And injustice. My ex took my kids. Her reflection looked Caucasian. That favored her in the court. It was the place. 2004. Kids little. You know, as I close my eyes, kids little. You know, being cheated on. Man laying in my bed here. You know. I remember the case, you know, that I took a plea bargain for a felony. 2nd degree endangering safety. You know, my public defender said that I stood over this woman and choked her by her neck with 2 hands. It's not true. You know, and why did I not fight? I think about what happened, you know. I was attacked. I was in fear of my life. I wasn't the aggressor in the case. You know, I had to get the woman off of me. You know, so much hurt, pain here. In 2022, this place is abandoned. This place is like a haunted house. I could remember one time having the police called on me, and maybe a dozen police came in my basement just over a disagreement. You know, my ex called the police, and all these guns in my face in my basement, and then found out nothing happened, and they just leave. So much trauma, so much pain. I was a good father here. I was a man of respect, dignity, hard worker, so young. I remember here, this same home, I had a ferret that I bought. You know, I called him Benjamin. And getting a call from my ex, laughing, telling me the same home I was kicked out of, another man living in there, telling me that my ferret had died. It was dried up in the cage. It was neglected. I had to come bury my ferret, you know? So that's something to tell people about, you know, pet trauma, man. Pet hurt. You know, I still miss my ferret. You know, this woman killed my ferret. And it was a joke. You know, I'm healing myself. I'm healing my pain. Stuff that I had in me for years. The world got to know who the real Derrick McCann is. I'm down here at the Dane County Courthouse. This is Madison, Wisconsin. You know, this is a place where I came here plenty times. You know, I get so emotional just thinking about it. Coming here many years, trying to get justice, trying to get the court to listen to me. You know, and the system just failed me in Wisconsin. You know, my kids were so little, 10 months old, my daughter, my son 2 years old. You know, it'll be over 17 years now since I'm still fighting for someone to listen. And my kids are adults now.
Tonight for people in Wisconsin hoping to wipe their criminal records clean.
Well, News 3 now investigates the process that really hasn't been used in our state in nearly a decade, one that can only come from the governor's office. Rose Schmidt sat down for a one-on-one interview with Governor Tony Evers and explains his plans to issue pardons.
I'm suffering and I really need help. Someone to listen to my story.
Derrick McCann's story is one filled with searching for a job,
Weekly,
for his kids who he hasn't seen in 8 years,
I missed their whole life because of this.
and for a place to live, as right now this is all he has.
And that's the reason why, I'm kind of in tears, because, I've been fighting for my life for years.
But mostly he's fighting and searching for redemption.
I'm a man that deserves a second chance.
Derrick is open about his past with the understanding that this is not who he is. He pleaded no contest to a felony, second-degree recklessly endangering safety. Court records show a friend of his girlfriend at the time says he tried to strangle her. It happened in 2004 when Derrick was 19.
I just got caught up with some wrong people at a wrong age.
He says he took a plea deal because he didn't understand the severity of a felony. To this day, he regrets that he didn't go to trial.
And I'm now 33, and that still haunts me.
But now that is what keeps him going
Dear Governor Tony Evers,
and propels him into action,
my name is Derrick D. McCann.
turning to one of the only people who can wipe his slate clean.
I'm asking to have my felony in Wisconsin expunged in Wisconsin.
And like Derrick,
First of all, I believe in redemption.
Governor Tony Evers says he knows the importance of forgiveness too.
Some people do some bad things, and if they've straightened their life out, we have to be willing to give them a second chance. So I think there's a moral issue here.
When Evers took office in January, he assumed the constitutional authority to grant second chances in 3 forms.
Wherever the governor thinks that justice is served, he can grant that pardon or clemency or reprieve.
UW law professor Keith Finley explains that reprieves usually only happen in death penalty cases, which Wisconsin doesn't have. Clemency alters a crime's punishment. That leaves pardons.
An act of grace is what they call it in the law. It's an act of forgiveness.
He says pardons are often considered the fail-safe in the legal system. But breaking tradition from previous state leaders, Evers' predecessor, former Governor Scott Walker, didn't issue any over his 2 terms.
After 8 years of complete inaction and unresponsiveness to all of a sudden turn the spigot back on, there's bound to be a lot of pent-up demand.
So you are giving a lot of people hope by opening up this conversation. Is that your intention?
Absolutely, and not having hope when you should have hope is the wrong thing for the state of Wisconsin to stand for.
Walker never appointed anyone to the pardon board, but that didn't mean the inquiries didn't pour in. Requests that are now coming to Evers' office, more than 1,000 since January of this year.
So your staff told me that this is actually your office's most contacted topic. Does that surprise you?
Not at all. It was that during the campaign. I hear it everywhere.
Step 1 for Evers will be putting together his pardon advisory board, which he hopes to have up and running by summer. With about 15 people total, the board will likely include victims or relatives of victims. He says his decision will not necessarily be about trying to distinguish whether someone is innocent.
I think most people are people that have come to reconcile themselves with what they did wrong, and they want to make it the best of their lives going forward, and we want them to be part of our society.
That is why letters, emails, and phone calls continue to pour into the governor's office.
I have wrote my elected officials, even Scott Walker, past governor of Wisconsin, never got a reply.
As people like Derrick plead their cases,
I need someone to listen to my story. Nobody ever did.
Once Evers' team puts together the formal application,
I plan on submitting it, and I'm looking forward to a new future.
Derrick plans to be first in line.
I'm really looking forward to someone really new eyes looking at my case.
And he's hoping that will bring what he's been seeking all along.
My story going to inspire others to never give up.
Rose Schmidt, News 3 Now.
And there are other ways to overturn criminal convictions, but Finley says offenders do not have a right to a free lawyer in those cases.
And they are difficult to defend yourself because there are so many hurdles in place that make it difficult to reopen those old cases. Really interesting.
It really is.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in the months ahead. All right, let's go.
Many are getting gun charges. Many that shot people getting second-degree reckless endangerment. Some are getting misdemeanor charges. I was just uneducated, with the legal system, with the jail system. I wasn't aware, the seriousness of a felony. Passion, I respect women. These charges was when I was a teen. Nobody was hurt, wasn't no bruises. Nobody went to the hospital. Me and the girl, my ex-friend, we haven't had any issues since. I want her to be safe. I want everyone to be safe. Tony Evers, the governor of Wisconsin, has failed to do what he said, be a man of his word, and pardon Derrick McCann. Governor Tony Evers has lied, has called the police on me, has ruled me as angry in the state of Wisconsin. I was there when Governor Tony Evers had hope and dreams of being elected governor. I was there when Mandela Burns had dreams of being lieutenant governor. Mandela Burns, lieutenant governor, yes, he is African American, has failed to speak for me, stand up with me. I'm down here at the Dane County Jail in Madison, Wisconsin, right across from me. See, I don't deserve to be in jail. I am an asset to my community. I'm the target. Why am I a target? Why am I being targeted? Why am I being hated in the state of Wisconsin? Why have the people turned on me when I have done so many great things through adversity to bring hope to the hopeless?
About midnight or so, and they come in clumps, you know, a group of 2 or 3 friends, a group of 5 friends. We're going to talk right now to Derrick McCann. Derrick is one of the first people that got here today. You were in the first group. You say you got here at about midnight. Tell me why it was so important for you to be here today.
Well, I felt like this year, it means a lot to me. Who gets in there, who gets in office. I want to make sure my voice and my face counts, you know, that I be seen because I'm standing for the community.
And you said you've seen the president before. You were here about a month ago when he was on Bascom Hill. But this time around, you got here early, first in line. Tell me why it's worth standing out here for a couple hours.
Man, the last time I seen him, he came on campus at the UW, and I got there a couple hours late. It was 30,000 people, and I stood for like 4 or 5 hours, and I didn't really get a good shot of the president. So I said this time, the early bird gets the worm, so I'm going to make sure I'm here early.
First in line should give you plenty of chance to get a good look. Thank you for your time, Derrick. I appreciate it. He just mentioned 30,000 people the last time the president was here on Bascom Hill. Makes it no surprise then that there is such a big group gathering here already today. Bruce Springsteen drawing crowds of his own. He was here in 2004 with John Kerry and drew 80,000 people. So we are expecting quite a crowd here today. Reporting live in downtown Madison, I'm Chris Woodard.
You know, Chris, every morning we want to make sure our voice and our face count as well. Thank you so much for that. I love what he said. And President Obama is, as we mentioned, already here in Madison. Air Force One landed.
All proving that Wisconsin will be very critical in determining the next president. The president was in Madison today on his last day of campaigning. It was an early morning, but thousands couldn't wait to hear what he had to say. NBC 15's Chris Woodard was downtown bright and early this morning and has more.
Not quite a week yet.
Police roll in, supporters line up.
This election means a lot to me.
Derrick McCann is part of a small group arriving first at midnight, #1 in line to get in and see the president.
And I just want to make sure my face and my voice count this year.
McCann saw Obama 1 month ago on Bascom Hill, but stood in the cold for 11 hours today for one simple reason.
I didn't get a chance to really get up close to him, so I said the early bird gets the worm. I'm going to come here, and hopefully I get close.
And around 11 o'clock, that wait for Derrick
Hello, Wisconsin!
And everyone else was over.
Are you fired up?
Obama spoke to thousands of supporters on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, downtown Madison. It is one of only 3 campaign stops for the president on this last day before the election.
Wisconsin, tomorrow you have a choice to make. And it's not just a choice between 2 candidates or 2 parties. It is a choice between 2 different visions for America.
Much of what we heard from the president today are messages we've been hearing throughout this entire campaign, but some of what he had to say was aimed directly at voters here in Wisconsin.
Listen, we know what change looks like, Madison, and what he's selling ain't it. In Wisconsin, that's why I need your vote. And if you're willing to work with me again and knock on some doors with me, make some phone calls for me, turn out for me, we'll win Wisconsin. We'll win this election.
After that final plea to voters, Obama made the rounds shaking hands. And in this case, the early bird got his worm. McCann face to face with the president. For him, making all those hours in the cold well worth it. In Madison, I'm Chris Woodard for NBC 15.
And according to the Obama campaign, fire inspectors put the crowd estimate at 18,000 people.
Bruce Springsteen opened for the president, and along with some of his hits, he made up his own song about the election.
So I said, well, maybe I'll, third verse I could write about the debates. Yeah. All right, so I went, okay. The first debate, I wait. Actually, the first debate really freaked me out, all right? But then.
My name is Derrick McCann. When it came to being positive through adversity and telling the community to seek education, there is hope. Who was there? Derrick McCann.
10. Graduation season is upon us, but for 30 local adults, the journey to higher education has been paved with many social and economic obstacles. NBC 15's Kristen Mazer joins us with how the Odyssey Project is leading them to success.
Ellie, for these adults, the program was more than just a college course. It transformed their lives and gave them the confidence to reach for their dreams.
There are plenty of flowers, balloons, and no shortage of hugs. A typical ceremonial scene. But for this group of local students, graduation involved much more than a diploma.
It gave me the strength and confidence in the times I felt lonely.
Getting here tonight wasn't easy for Derrick McCann. McCann is among the 30 graduates of this year's Odyssey program. The UW-Madison program is now in its 10th year and allows low-income adults to receive college credit for free.
I've been through a lot of situations, single father, a situation in the courts, not being able to see my kids.
McCann had always wanted to go to college, but at times felt hopeless. Odyssey gave him the strength he needed to overcome adversity and achieve his dream.
I use my past hurts and pains and rejections as motivation to not give up.
You do if you put your mind to it.
Whatever you're going through, you got to believe in yourself. Quitting is not an option. You just got to keep going and keep going, have faith.
Well, very well said. Well, there are a few requirements.
When it came to leading a peaceful protest, who was there?